What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Kat and Mark Show. Kat, how's your week been?
Anybody who follows me on Instagram might have seen this on my story. I had a very interesting inquiry this week.
Interesting inquiry. Now I'm curious. Tell me.
It was, so I woke up and so I've got both of my numbers on the one phone. So my personal number and my work number on the one phone.
Okay. Yeah.
So like if you were to text either number, it would just come up as Mark, right? Yeah. Because I've got your contact saved universally in my phone. Okay. So it doesn't matter what number you text me from. It doesn't matter, like, and same with like my clients. If my clients text me on like, I guess either number, not that they would have my personal number, but let's just say they did, it would still come up as like their name, right? So anyway, so I like woke up in the morning and I got like a text from this guy that I went on a date with like about 3 years ago. Okay. And I think I went on a date with him. I think it was like just as I had started in the industry. So it was about 3 years ago, maybe a little bit less. I met him at establishment and we went on one date, and then he was good looking, nice guy, but it didn't work out because he wanted kids. Like he basically on the first date said like, I want kids like right now. And I was like, cool. It's big. That's a big no from me. So I was like, oh, we're clearly not compatible.
For those listening, it's not the commitment. It's just the kids.
Yeah.
It's all like, wow, you want so much soy. No, it's just the kids part.
No, if he said, let's get married, then and there I would have said yes. But it was that he wanted kids. So I would have been all for it if you just took the kids out of the equation. If he said, yeah, I'm just going to get married right now.
Yeah.
I'd be like, done. Let's go.
You guys probably be married.
Oh, yeah, we'd probably be married. Yeah, 100%. But it was the kids for me.
So you're right.
Anyway, so I got a text from him and I was like, well, that's someone I haven't heard from. And we only met twice, right? So I was like, this is really random. But
what was the message?
It was an inquiry, but obviously he doesn't know that it's me. But I still have his number saved in my phone, and it was to my work number. And I was like, oh, like, hey, are you available? And it was like 3 a.m. or something like that. So I'm not sure if he got his wife and kids. Probably.
Oh, okay.
He probably did.
He's married with kids by now.
Yeah, if he's messaging me, because most of them are. So.
But this is my question. Do you think it's just randomly found you on the side and was like, oh, this girl? Or do you think he was like, oh, I went on a date with this girl?
I don't think that he knows that it's me. And there's a few reasons why. So his inquiry was subpar. Like,
what do you mean subpar?
It was just like, if I didn't know who he was, I wouldn't have even replied.
Oh, okay.
It was just
like messy.
It was just, messy, just stupid, like.
Okay. It didn't feel like a serious inquiry.
Yeah, no, it wasn't, it's not an inquiry, it was just embarrassing. Like, it's not how you would approach someone who knows who you are and where you live. And like who you are.
So he definitely doesn't.
No, he definitely doesn't know because it was a very subpar it was a very embarrassing inquiry. I'm not going to put details, but it was a embarrassing inquiry. So, and that's what I said. I wouldn't have even entertained it or replied.
I'm so curious what makes it embarrassing. It was like poor grandma, or just like, hey,
yes, and even just the messaging me in the middle of the night, and then he asked me for 15 minutes, which that's embarrassing in itself.
Oh damn! Okay, hey, can I book in for 3 hours?
And then it was kind of basically like he'd message, and then he didn't message me, and then he didn't reply for like hours. Like it was just if a guy makes an inquiry and then he messages and then doesn't message back for ages, and then messages back way later, being like, oh hey, like are you still free? Sorry, like I'm like, no, you just wasted my time. Because I'm not going to message you just for you to then reply in like 10 hours, right? And then when I was like, oh no, sorry, like I'm not available anymore. I was like, not even for 15 minutes. Like I was like, oh my God, like shut up. It's like just a quickie, like 10 minutes. I was like, oh my God, this is just really embarrassing now.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we didn't end up seeing each other because he just like, we could have, but then he didn't, he was like really messy with the replies and then really embarrassing. So anyway, but I was like, so this is what I was saying, like I wouldn't have entertained it if I didn't know who he was, right? And then he messaged me again the next day, but like again, it was at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, and I was just, so this is how I know he doesn't know that it's me, because you would not be messaging someone that you know like that, right?
This is my question, right? Say he comes in, like say you go through the booking, right? The booking's over. He still doesn't like recognize, put 2 and 2 together. Do you say, hey, by the way, just from 3 years ago. You want a kid's
No, I wouldn't, because he would know all my personal details.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. I don't know. He might have I'm sure I would have given him my Instagram and maybe my Facebook or something. I don't know what info I gave him. Yeah. He has my real number. He would maybe remember my real name. I don't know what he knows about me. I can't really remember. I know we only went on 2 dates, but I don't know what the fuck I shared with this person. He probably remembers where I used to work. I don't know who I was with at the time. Who else he might know that I know. I can't exactly remember all of the details, but his memory might be better than mine. So maybe he remembers things about me that I don't even remember telling him, right? Yeah. So not that I would think that he would do anything, but you don't know with people. I don't know who this person is. I only met him twice. He could be a weird person that takes out an ad in the newspaper being like, oh, this is this person's real name, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You just don't know. So anyway, I'm very I'm very
careful.
Iffy with my personal info. So I wouldn't, just because I don't know what he knows about me or what kind of person he is that he could do with that information, right? Mm-hmm. But I would see him and take his money, and then if he, I don't know, tries to put 2 and 2 together, that's me, I would just pretend that's not me. But I don't think he notices as well, because...
What are you talking about me 3 years ago?
I don't look like I did 3 years ago. I had different hair color. Yeah. I was 10 kilos heavier. Yeah. I was just, I would have been in a very different phase in my life. So, I did look different. That was before I even got my nose done. Yeah. I was heavier and had a different nose and different hair.
Okay.
So, I don't think he would notice.
So it would have been really interesting though.
I would have been dressing and doing my makeup. I feel I changed my look all the time. I just don't think that he would notice. That's me. If you look at photos of me 3 years ago, I don't look the same.
I think we've spoken about this before, right? I think I asked the question, was there anyone in your private life that has come back and booked with you? I think we spoke about would there be anyone from work, or how would you feel? But has that happened since we had this talk? Is anyone from your private life besides this guy ever tried to book with you?
I don't think I've shared this story on air, but there was one guy that was okay. So there was one guy and who I actually seen, but I get the impression that neither of us realized it was that the other person until a bit later, right? So anyway, he made the inquiry. Anyway, he came to see me, and then he mid booking, he just randomly made up an excuse and then left really abruptly. I think we did have sex, or maybe we were about to, maybe we were making out. I can't exactly remember. This was pretty early in my career as well. So I wasn't showing my face at this time. He just left really abruptly. And I just remember and then I asked him this and I was like, oh, sorry, did I say something that offended you or whatever? And he was like, no. He just basically ran out the door with his pants half on. And I was Jesus. I was thinking about that situation for weeks afterwards, because I was okay, something has clearly happened that I've missed.
Yeah.
So if he had never left abruptly, I would never have even realized who he was, right? So I was so I was going over every single second of that booking being why? I've never had a client run out with his pants basically half on mid-booking before. That doesn't happen, right? So I was I clearly did something, or maybe he's seen something. Did I leave something out? So I was God, was there something on the table that was scary? I don't fucking know, right? So I was thinking about it. And then I don't know, something in my head clicked and I was what name did he say that he gave me? Anyway, so I had a look at the name. He didn't tell me his last name, he told me his first name. And I was the first name was the same as this guy that I thought it was. And I was and he did when I think about it, I was he does look kind of like that guy. And I was was that him? Anyway, so I went on Facebook, because this is how long ago it is. It was a guy that I hung out with early high school. So he was he was friends with a guy that I was dating when I was in year 8 or I was in year 8, he was in year 9, and he was friends with the guy that I was dating, so that he went to a different school. So we had met a few times, but this is a long time. This would have been a decade before, right?
Jesus.
And then I looked at Facebook and it was him, and he's married. He was married, so that's obviously So I was married, or so I was oh, okay. So he clearly realized. He must have. This is the only thing I was he obviously must have realized mid-session who I was, and then was holy shit, I'm married. This girl knows who I am. Yeah. If she realizes who I am, is she going to tell my wife or whatever? So anyways, then that must have been why he ran out. So anyway, yeah, so then
You solved the mystery at least. Like that
Thank
could
God.
play on my mind.
Oh, honestly, thank God, because I
Yeah.
don't think I would have been the same if I had just
Yeah.
had a client just run out mid sex, being like, "Oh my God, like I just
Yeah.
maybe we were
Just
running." No, but anyway, so it was him, and yeah, and then he was married. So I was like, "Oh, okay, well, doesn't that make sense now?"
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so that happened. So that's the only time.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, maybe there have been times with somebody who knew me, maybe like not like really extended that I didn't know who they were. Because like, for instance, if that guy had never run out, if he just went through with the booking and then went home, I never would have put 2 and 2 together. It was because he ran out that made me then think about it and then figure out that was him. But yeah, had he never done that, I would be to this day being like, no, I've never had anybody from my past with me. Yeah, so then now I'm like, I wonder, I did actually have my friend tell me as well that she was in Sydney and got an inquiry from somebody for a doubles booking, and then was like, oh yeah, I've got a friend here that I do doubles with, like sent my profile, and then he was like, oh no, I used to work with her.
Oh,
I can't see her. And then I was like, God, I wish he like ended the discussion with her then. So I was like, who was it? Like, did you get a name? And she was like, oh no, like that was game over for you then. I was like, God, I wish I knew who that was. It was from my old work. But yeah, so
crazy.
So I guess that but like he obviously knew who I was. I don't know, maybe I didn't know who he was though. Like, because there was a lot of people in my building, and I feel like a lot of people would have known who I was walking around in like my mini skirts.
Exactly.
And things
Yeah.
A lot of people would have known me that I wouldn't have known who they were probably. Anyway, I don't even. That's so off topic. But anyway, that was my story of the week. It was really that was like multiple stories.
You had a couple of good stories in the week lately.
Yeah, I know I have. Yes, that was. Oh, anyway, so to be continued, because he's made like 3 inquiries with me now. That guy. So to be continued, but like I feel like, look, if he's the kind of guy that's asking for a 15-minute quickie at 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever, like doesn't sound like he's someone that's ever going to see.
Maybe not there.
And yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's going through divorce right now or something. That's not the behavior that I would expect from him. Like, but anyway, but this is the funny thing about escorting is that which I say it all the time. Sometimes it's the guys that you never expect. And like, I know this guy. He's not like I can say that, like, I don't think that he would be the kind of person to message an escort begging for a 15-minute booking at 3 o'clock in the morning. But that's the thing is that he is.
It happens, yeah.
And he's like a good guy with a good job that we went on a date and he was a perfect gentleman, dressed nice and everything. Yeah. And then behind closed doors, he's asking for 15-minute bookings with an escort for like in the middle of the night. But do you see what I mean? How like it's crazy how people, I guess, what secret side can be. It's really the people that you would never, like I would never, like, I mean, it's to be honest, now doing this job, I would expect every guy to see escorts, but like it's just funny just the way he's going about it. Like I would never expect him to be like a 15-minute quickie kind of guy. Like do you know what I mean?
No, I'm just saying you're expecting maybe to message you at a proper time.
Yeah, for like a dinner date kind of booking or something like that. Like during business hours. Like most of my kind of businessy clients are messaged during business hours, and it's usually a booking that's not in the middle of the night, and it's not a 15-minute thing, right? Anyway, so to be continued. So if you like, I mean, so I'm still entertaining it just because of the fact that I know he's not this kind of a guy, but it would be a funny story.
Yeah, I like that.
And he was pretty hot too, and we never actually had sex.
Okay.
Because we could have, but they're just the kids.
You could have had kids.
It just threw me off. But anyway, do you have a story for this week?
So yesterday, Shreddy Day, although. Yeah, by the time this comes out, not Australia Day. Yeah. But yeah, we just went out, friends. It was fun. You weren't there. Okay.
No.
You were busy and sick.
Who wants to go to the beach on Australia Day?
Yeah, fuck out of here. It was so much fun. But
that just sounds like a lot of effort. Yeah, and it would have been so packed. And it was so hot.
No, where we went like no beach. It wasn't too packed. We had like a DJ there set up. It was
Did you bring the DJ?
No, I didn't bring the DJ, but one of our friends organised all this shit, so they brought a DJ.
But was there other people from the public? General?
There was essentially, but it was like a smaller group. So there was like the beach, was like a little grass area at the top. But then, there was like, at one point, 15 police just standing there, just watching. Like, it was so awkward. And I was like, yo, I feel so bad for these guys. Imagine, okay, you're a cop.
Yeah, I think I've seen in the group chat they were checking people's bags.
Yeah, I'll show you. But to be honest, the cops are super chill. There were guys walking around.
There's
like,
better use of public money than police standing around at a beach checking people for alcohol. It's bloody Australia Day. Everyone's drunk.
Yeah. To be honest,
that's the point of Australia Day. It's a day off to get drunk.
Yeah. But that's the whole thing. Like, imagine you're a cop, okay, and you have to work so you can't even go out with your friends. Then it's like fucking hot. You're in this uniform. They make you like go to the beach. You're
taking alcohol off these people that are just trying to have fun.
You literally the fun police. Like, you must hate yourself. This is like the worst job. So people were like coming up, taking photos with them, high-fiving them. They were loving it. And I'm like, of course, like, they've got nothing better to do with the fucking self right now. But no, it was a great day. It was a lot of fun. Ended up going out last night. Staying out way too late. That's why I sound quirky at the moment.
No, that's why you look tired.
Yeah.
Everyone in the comments.
I get. Everyone's like, "Kat, you look amazing." You look good. I get one comment. Why does Mark always look tired?
Well, but the people mainly comment on my boobs though.
Okay,
I don't know. I was just saying to Mark, I was like, I feel like I need new tight shirts to wear.
Why does no one comment on my boobs? It's fucked up. This is sexist. But yeah, yes, fuck guys, I'm tired. All right, I'm tired again. Right,
always tired. It's because it's actually earlier than your wake up time. Usually you wake up like 3 o'clock and what's this, like 4 o'clock? So you're just fresh out of bed.
Exactly. This is like my breakfast time right now. So yeah, apologies for me looking tired, sounding tired, but fuck you, I had an amazing night. So that's that. Yeah. All right. What are we talking about today?
So the first question that I have for you is, I think I've seen this pop up on Twitter or something. I think there was like a tweet on this and people were commenting on it. I just thought it was really funny. What is the ick?
What is the ick? Definition of ick. Okay, for me, ick is just a feeling that comes over you where you're like, damn, I just find this person fucking repulsive. It's just something that triggers in you. And it could be like a good reason. It could be like, I don't know, maybe your date like fucking is just like completely rude and
I got the ick with this guy that made the inquiry. I said he told me he wanted kids and he wanted them like now.
Yeah.
And that was, I can't get around that. Like there's no, I don't know if it was, I guess it technically is the ick because I just couldn't, it was just an instant no from me because my mind's not going to change. Like it's just a no from me.
Yeah, done. So I think there are probably like good icks. This is the way I think about it. It's probably like good icks.
Yeah, that would be like a good ick, I guess.
Where it's correlative to the other person's traits. So you have a vision where you don't want kids. The guy wants kids. So it's like this good natural like response that happens subconsciously where you're like, no, okay. It might be, as I said, like someone being super rude to the waiter and you're like, no, which is good because you want someone that's like nice to people. But then I think there's like bad icks that is like your own projection or own bias or like past trauma and shit that doesn't say much about the person you're with. So what I mean by that is maybe you're someone that is really scared of like commitment and there is someone that is like, hey, I really like you. And you're like, oh, fuck, I got the ick. Or like maybe they message you a little too much. You're like, I got the ick. Or maybe it's just like the cologne. They're wearing a cologne of a guy that you like fucking hated. And so it says nothing about the actual person, but you're getting the ick. So I think there's like good icks that are like good reminders of like, this isn't the person for you. And probably bad icks where you need to like reflect and think, is this actually telling me correct information about this person? Or do I just need to like look back and think about where this is coming from?
I would have thought the icks would have been like more, I guess, superficial. So one of the ones that I think I've seen on Twitter, which I just thought was really funny, was a girl was saying she got the ick over a guy because he had a Velcro wallet.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like another one said something like the shoes he was wearing were
like Crocs.
Or like I can't exactly remember. Or no, I don't know. So anyway, something was off about the shoes. Another person said that he wore like brown with grey, or it was like the wrong colours or whatever. The colours were all off.
Yeah.
And then I looked into it as well, and apparently guys get the ick too. Because I was like, do men get the ick? And then I was reading, obviously on Reddit. I've been reading a lot of Reddit lately. It's gone on the internet. And there was a whole thing on guys saying the icks that they got.
I'm curious, what icks did the guys get?
To be honest, the guys' icks were a little bit more less superficial than the girls' ones. Okay. The majority of it was like they were too focused on social media. So like they couldn't couldn't do anything without taking a photo first. Another one was, if they were too rude or, bitching about their friends or things like that. So the guys' ones were actually like made sense.
Yeah, the girls.
The girls' ones, no, not really. Yeah. So I actually wrote down a few of my icks.
Oh,
have you ever had icks?
Yeah. 100%. The biggest ick that I get, I don't call it an ick, right? But like the biggest ick that I get is when girls are like closed-minded. So I think we've spoken about this before on the show. Even like any subject, I don't care.
They won't if they're like, I've never tried chicken nuggets.
Yeah, and I'm like, chicken nuggets are really good.
Yeah,
you should try it. No, I will never. And it's like, what about just?
So you say this even though there's
I knew this was coming.
Even though there's two things that I've asked you to try, and you said no, and you will not even try them.
To be fair, I said.
So you're an ick.
No. Listen. The difference is if a girl said, looked and she had some insight and she's like, look, to be fair, I don't
don't be defending yourself now by saying you have insight.
I'm going to defend myself. If the girl said, okay, if she was like, no, if she was like, okay, listen, I don't really go like chicken nuggets because typically I don't really like fast food stuff. I don't really like things with crumb. It seems a bit fatty to me, so I don't really think I'll like it. I don't think I want to try it. That's fair enough. But if she's like, no, blah, blah, then
how many times have we said,
I'm not eating my own cum, okay, cat?
And a finger up the arse?
Yeah, a finger up it. Yeah, no. So yeah, if a girl's like super close-minded, big ick.
Okay, so you are an ick. You're just outing yourself as being a big walking
hypocritical ick. Yeah, that's very... All right, let's hear yours, Kat. What are yours?
Okay, so I already said about the one that told me that he wanted kids.
Okay,
yeah. I'll ask... So asking to split the bill, big no from me.
Okay, yeah.
Fair. And I feel like a lot of girls will also say that.
I agree with that, yeah.
Okay, so these are two specific ones. Okay, so actually one is not, so one was a bit silly, but the other one is, is I guess, understandable. That's the word that I was like, I was seeing this guy once and it ticked all the boxes. I really liked him, was super into him and he was lovely to me. And then we were in like a taxi once and he was just so rude to the taxi driver. Yeah. Just for no reason. Like the taxi driver didn't even do anything. Like if for whatever reason the taxi driver was being a cunt, then okay, yeah, all right, you can be come back. But like this taxi driver did nothing. Like absolutely nothing was going on and just out of nowhere just started being a cunt to this guy. So and then I was after that. I couldn't look at him the same again. And then I had to sit at dinner with him after because we were on the way to dinner and pretend like I was like into this guy. And I knew already like I do not want to be around this person anymore. And I had to sit through this dinner. So anyway, okay, and this was one that this is probably the only superficial one that I've ever gotten, but like I don't even know why this bothered me, but then I just couldn't see anything else. I don't know if I've spoken about this on the show before. Okay. I went on a date with this guy once and he was great, ticked all the boxes. I was super into him. The date was going so well. Really good guy. Like we seemed like we were just, everything ticked every single box. Like I couldn't fault him. And then he picked up his drink and I think I have said this, I think I have told this story before. And his fingers were like smaller than my fingers.
Oh, I have heard this. Yeah.
I was talking about this in the show before. He had small fingers and I just couldn't. Yes, it was just skinny little, no, it was like skinny fingers. So like I can't remember if they were short. And they weren't short and stumpy, they were like long and skinny.
They just looked
like spidery.
Spidery.
I don't know. I can't even remember. Maybe they were short too. But anyway, look, I couldn't.
It was just a turn off. You're like,
no, I couldn't. It was a struggle to get through the rest of the day. I couldn't see anything else after that. I couldn't look at him the same after that. I was just
Wasn't happening.
No. Yeah. Which I don't know why. Like I've never had
that before.
No, I don't know why that bothered me. Like up until then, like now it's something that I look at.
No, you check.
Yeah, I check after that. But like up until then, I had no reason to like judge a guy based on his fingers. It's not like I had a bad experience with a guy with small fingers or something like that. Like, so I don't even know why it bothered me, but it just did. Just randomly, I just saw it and I was like, oh no, I can't have that.
Imagine the guy asks for feedback. He's like, yo, why didn't you want a second date? Like, hey, listen, your hands, okay? There's smithery, small, lanky.
You need steroids for your fingers.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, now I check out a guy's fingers, and if a guy has manly fingers, it's not like I will be like, you've got nice fingers. Can
I ask you a question? All right. Are my hands are these icky hands?
No, you've got manly fingers. they're chunky
I
enough.
was worried that
Yeah.
she was like, okay,
Are they chunky
perfect.
enough? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was like the
works.
thought of those spidery fingers being inside my pussy was just like,
Yeah, true.
like what if it broke off
Yeah.
inside?
Yeah, I think it's different. Like, yeah, you
Like,
gotta have those hands inside of you.
snap
They
off.
broke off. You're just missing two fingers. They're lost inside of you.
Because they just look so brittle.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but like I don't know, maybe, but like look, maybe that's what it was. Like maybe it was the thought of these little feminine girl hands like
Yeah,
being inside
maybe.
me. Maybe I like I don't know. Maybe
But it's
that's what it
crazy.
was.
It's just like this one-off hand. It's not like a.
It
It's
was
not like
both.
you said-
It was both of his hands.
No, but what? Yeah, two off hands. But what I'm saying is like it's not as if it's like 10% of the population. You're like, fuck, I don't like that. It's like this one guy. with
Well,
these
because I've
hands.
never had that happen
Yeah.
before, where a guy's fingers were just off. Because usually guys have manly hands, like
Mm.
and manly features. Especially the guys I go for are usually like manly. I'm not too into like feminine guys. Like I'm usually into like taller, bigger
Yeah.
guys. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe he was just too not manly for me.
Maybe. And you know, that's a good point. I think some of the icks actually, like the guy with the Velcro wallet, right?
Yeah, that's not manly. Is it?
Yeah, but I think like I'm curious here, okay? So I'm curious if like you're on a date with a guy that ticks all the boxes in terms of like, okay, he seems very mature, seems very manly, blah, blah, blah. And then like he pulls out a Velcro wallet. Is that enough for you to be like, all right, done. He's a little man child. Or is it already a case where you're like, this guy seems a bit immature. This guy seems like he doesn't really have his life sorted. And then like the Velcro wallet is like the last straw and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, maybe that is what it is. I mean, like, look, if a guy ticked all the boxes and he, you know, and then he had a Velcro wallet, I'd be like, okay, maybe he just has bad fashion, but I can buy him a new wallet, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But like, if there was like, I don't think like if a guy ticked all the boxes and then had a shitty wallet or shitty shoes or shitty fashion, I'd be like, okay, that's okay. Like I can change his fashion.
Yeah, exactly.
And his
It's
wallet
quick
and
fix.
help him how to. Yeah, that's an easy.
Yeah.
I can't give a guy bigger fingers, right?
Yeah.
So like that.
Or
that
teach
can't-
him to be nice to people.
yeah,
right?
exactly. That can't be
True.
fixed, right? But with the fashion thing, like it would depend, like because there are a lot of rich guys that do not really care about. Like
Yeah.
I have a lot of really super rich clients that they don't give a fuck about
Yeah.
what they're wearing, and they will come and see me, and sometimes they look fucking homeless, like, but like they've got fucking yachts and mansions and whatever,
Yeah.
but they just walk around looking homeless because they're just. I feel like sometimes you get to a point where you just have so much money, you just don't even care anymore. Like it kind of maybe the whole hype of like looking flashy, especially when you get a bit older, it's probably just like
Well,
just gonna
do
be
you know
crazy.
what? I heard this, that if you go to conferences and things like that, one of the tips I heard is usually the most successful people there, the most wealthy people, are not the ones that look it. They're not the ones like super dressed up. They're just wearing like normal.
Well, if
clothes.
you look at Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg,
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
not walking around in
No.
Armani, Versace,
Yeah,
whatever.
true.
Like if you walked past Mark Zuckerberg on the street and you didn't know who he was, you would probably think he's just some regular person. He just
Yeah,
wears
true.
t-shirts.
Yeah.
Like you literally just wears t-shirts and like jeans that are not even fitting right.
Yeah,
Like
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
And there's another famous person as well that always dresses like fucking shit. I think it's Cristiano Ronaldo. It's one of the soccer players.
Oh, okay.
I think it's
Yeah,
Cristiano
that's awesome.
Ronaldo, and he just dresses like shit all the time. Whenever I've seen him, he's just like shit. And you would not think that he is who he is.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the soccer players. I think it could be him. But anyway, yeah. So, and as I said, I see this a lot with my clients as well that have a lot of money. And they just come looking proper homeless, and yeah. But anyway, so yeah. If he came dressed like shit, that's fine. You know, if he's got enough money, he can pay for a bloody stylist.
Glad you will.
Yeah.
All right, this is my question following up on this then. So I know I've also heard people say like, I got the ick because of smell, right? Like the guys or the girl is not looking after like the personal hygiene or whatever it is, right? Or as I said before, like maybe there's a certain cologne they're wearing and you're like, fuck, that cologne is like, maybe they're wearing Lynx or something. You're like, that's for kids. Or it's like a cologne of a guy that you were with, blah, blah. But this is my question, okay? Have you ever been with a guy and you're like, damn, I just like his smell? Because I've got a friend, fuck it, I'll say it, Alex, who he has girls that will tell him like, yo, like if you're on in the gym, don't shower.
So like his natural smell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
His natural smell, like the girls like really like that. Or like some of the girls really like that. And I've had this before where I've been with girls where, and look, maybe I'm trying to think, maybe it was just their spray, but I've been with girls where I'm like, damn, this girl smells really nice. And so I don't know if it is a mixture of like, okay, maybe they just got like a really nice perfume, you know, like, or it is more of a natural scent that the girls have. So I'm curious, like, what your perspective on this is as a woman. Is have you ever been with guys and you're like, oh fuck, like after a sweaty like sex session, you're like, damn, I really like this smell that they have, or like certain colognes that you really like. Like, what's your take on this?
Yes, and look, this is yes, I have had that happen, and this is backed by science. So I will explain that, talk through.
Right, Dr. Cat, let's go.
Yes, so okay, yes, there is. So the reason why I think that there is like this I guess attraction to like. There is an attraction to a person's natural smell, and that's because like you release pheromones in your natural scent, and this is like because I mean, perfume and colognes and deodorant, we didn't have that back in the day, right? So that's a modern invention, right? So obviously people were walking around with their natural smell for majority of human existence. So anyway, so you are actually biologically designed to be attracted to people's natural pheromones, and I can't exactly remember the reason, but I think it's, I don't know, maybe it's got something to do with compatibility. Like if you like somebody's scent more than others, like there's, I don't know, maybe some kind of biological compatibility between I don't know, whatever vitamins or chemicals or whatever like is on this person that you're maybe more attracted to, like for a biological reason. That's maybe more similar to you. But anyway, so there is biology in this that you are actually, and scientifically, you are actually more attracted to the natural pheromones than to a perfume or whatever. So if you smell a girl that's doused in perfume and then you smell a girl that's got none on, you will actually... You won't notice it, but you'll actually be more attracted to the girl that's not doused in perfume and whatever. So with the whether it's somebody smells good, like, you know, okay, you've been to the gym or whatever. So and I think this also maybe comes down to hygiene and stuff as well. And I think maybe this is why I was saying, like, maybe in biology there's certain things that you don't realize you're picking up on in somebody's natural scent, but is maybe there, like this is why it is. So I've had everybody smelt a guy that just smells really bad, right? And I've been in some Ubers where I'm like, oh, and it's gross, right? And you're turned off, right? But I've had like, and so me as a girl, like obviously I've smelt lots of guys, but then I've had guys where they smell, they have the manly musk, right? Like, you know, maybe we've just had a big fuck session, right? And they're now getting like, I guess that man stink going, but then when I smell a guy and I can smell like, okay, he's got his like man musk going on. If it doesn't smell bad, to me, I immediately think it's good because it's like, oh, okay, so this guy, like, he's sweaty and he's smelly, but it doesn't smell bad. Yeah, because the comparison is like, he should smell bad. Yeah, and he doesn't. So it's like, he's just gone on this big workout and he doesn't smell disgusting. And it's like, any girl will like know what I mean when I say it. It's like, because you're so used to guys smelling like shit that when you get one that's just been through a big workout and he doesn't smell like shit, it's like, oh, like, what's he doing right that he smells so good? Like, I wouldn't say it's good. But you're like, what is he doing? But it's like his man smell smells not bad. And then so it actually probably does smell good biologically because his pheromones just must be better. Maybe he's healthier and maybe that's why he smells better. He's eating better, sleeping better, whatever it is that's making his juices smell more healthy. And that's like an instant turn on. So any girl will say that, like, you know, when you have a guy and he smells, and he doesn't stink, it's like, oh yeah, okay. You kind of like it. But you're biologically designed to like that. Okay. And and then this is what I was saying with another thing. So I never wear perfume or cologne. Never wear perfume? No, never with my clients as well. Yeah. Interesting. Because you're more attracted to the natural scent. Crazy. So I'm actually more attractive to my client. Maybe that's why I'm probably so successful. They don't know why they keep coming back. It's my natural pheromones. I've got good pheromones, y'all.
And this is another question because I've complained about this before, okay? You like it warm in here, all right? Sometimes I feel like I get in here and it's a fucking sauna. When you're having sex, like, I hate sweating a lot during sex, okay? But do you find that sexy? Like, do you find it sexy when it is like that hot kind of sweaty session?
I don't sweat.
But like for the guy, I mean. Like, or it's like whatever, indifferent.
Is it hotter for you now?
I like it cold, all right? I want it like freezing.
Yeah. Okay.
So most people would say this is like a normal temperature. For me, that's too hot.
So this is hot. Okay. I have the aircon on for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, you just got it really hot in here. That's okay.
Yeah, it's a bit hot.
But anyway, I mean, look, I don't know, not particularly. I don't really notice it, to be honest. Like, I don't really like if the guy's too sweaty and just sweat gets all over me.
Okay, yeah. So wrong type of wet.
Yeah. I don't mind if a guy gets a little. Obviously, guys are gonna get sweaty, but if it's like to the point where he's like dripping all over me, but then that's also a turn off because like you're clearly just unfit.
Yeah.
I don't think that. Let's not blame the heat. Let's just blame your stamina. Like,
fair. This guy's like semi-having a heart attack over you, dripping with sweat.
Yeah, like exactly. I think that's more of a health concern rather than my apartment being too hot.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, so that's my science for you.
No, I appreciate it.
Is there like, all right, from a guy's point of view, like, have you had a girl that just smells not good?
I've had a girl that smells not good.
I feel girls do. Actually, I have smelled. Actually, no. I'm trying to think if I've ever smelled a girl that smells really bad. Not really. I feel like girls just don't smell that bad.
Yeah, or they're like more conscious about it and like take care of it.
Yeah, maybe.
Really. But like, I definitely have girls that like, smell really good. I've had that. Like, and again, it might have been. There's one girl I know. She uses this like body cream with like vanilla in or something, and I just remember this smell was so nice. But then I've had other girls, I'm like, you smell really good. They're like, I'm not wearing anything. And I'm like, they just thought I was giving them like an empty compliment. Like, oh, you smell nice. And the girl was like, well, no, I know you're lying. I'm not wearing it. And I'm like, no, I'm not smelling like a perfume. She's like, you smell good, which might sound fucking weird, right? She's like, you smell nice. But yeah, I've had that. I have had that, yeah. So
yeah, my clients tell me I smell great all the time.
Yeah,
and I wear nothing other than, obviously I wear deodorant, but like, it's like a non-scented one. Just like a normal deodorant, whatever. And my clients tell me I smell great all the time. It's like, I've got great pheromones.
There you go. Pheromone game strong.
I mean, so Alex clearly must have the same.
He's got good pheromones.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Well, we clearly smell each other's pheromones.
Exactly.
So.
Pheromones, yeah.
We had compatible pheromones, so I think we can both vouch for that.
Now I'm self-conscious because I've never had a girl tell me, hey, go to the gym, don't shower.
No, but see, I don't think I've ever specifically told a guy your pheromones smell good. Like, okay, maybe Alec maybe has, but like, I don't think I've ever. Even though I've thought it, I've never. So I kind of say it in a roundabout way. So I won't say, "Oh yeah, your man stink smells good."
Yeah,
like, I wouldn't say that. I just be like I've made comments to guys being like, "You don't smell that bad."
Yeah.
So
what a compliment!
It's like a back end. No, yeah. So, but like, it is a compliment, but it's like a back end. Like, so I have said that to guys by being like, when they've been really sweaty, being like, "You actually don't smell." I'd
take that as a compliment.
And no, it is a compliment. So I've never actually said it smells good. Yeah. I've just said it doesn't smell bad. But that technically it means it smells good, right?
You don't stink that much at all. This is
but so many fucking guys smell like fucking shit. So and I think we do some more research into this and then come back to it because I'd like to know a little bit more on the science of it and more so on the smelling bad. And I feel like that must have to be like. Because like what makes somebody smell bad? Like what is the indicators? Like why do we smell one person and say this smells bad and smell somebody else and says this smells good? So then I'm pretty sure there must be like biologically something that we're picking up on, like that this person has better genes and is a better mate.
Yeah.
And I'm smelling more vitamin C or more iron.
That vitamin C,
in this person, and I'm smelling less of it in this other person. So clearly his vitamins are off, and that's why he's not as good of a mate.
Yeah, you gotta get that.
There must be that has to be true. Yeah, it's got to be true.
I agree.
I think
we're gonna look into this and we're gonna get back to you guys.
I that has to be what it is, and that's why we, like our bodies tell us.
I'm gonna get my We're gonna get my pheromone game strong again. We're gonna research this.
There would have to be ways that you can improve like your natural scent. Surely there would have to be.
Yeah, sure. All right.
Yeah. Okay. We'll circle back on this for next week because now I'm like really because I clearly have good pheromone. Well, I don't think I've ever smelt you and been like, "Fuck you, stink."
Thank you so much for the compliment.
Because I'm trying to think.
No, I've never had girls be like.
I've been out with you for like on massive benders.
Yeah.
Where I was with you at bloody Tomorrowland, which everybody would have been stinking, right? And I remember I actually ran into you on the end of one of the Tomorrowlands and we hugged and I didn't get repulsed. I didn't get repulsed by you. You would have been dancing for like 12 hours straight.
True. To be fair, a lot of girls say I smell nice, but usually they're referring to like the cologne. It's like, you smell nice, what are you wearing? And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, look, I've never smelt you and been like, because to be honest, if I had smelt you and you smelled like disgusting, I would have said like, because I say that, I've definitely said that to guy friends before by being like, you fucking stink like shit, like sort yourself out. Like I've definitely said that to people.
All right, heard it here first, guys. I don't smell like shit. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, I have a question from the audience, which is actually something that one of my clients asked me, which I never thought about until he asked me.
Mm-hmm.
And I am now like, oh my God, this is a phenomenon. Like, and why is this? So I was actually like, it was when I was researching into it, I was like, oh, this is actually very interesting. So my client asked me, why does every girl have a rape fantasy?
Okay, now we're in my ballpark. This is what we're talking about. Okay, would you like some stats? I got some stats here. Okay, perfect. So I wrote an article about this a while ago, but here we go. So some stats by one of these studies. So 52% of women have a fantasy to be forced by a man.
I actually thought it would be higher than that. I did read that same stat, and I actually thought it would have been more than that.
Okay, well, yeah, interesting. Yeah, I think.
Does that sound high to you? That sounds. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just because most girls I know, are pretty kinky. Maybe.
Exactly. I think if you went out to most people and you said how many girls have like a forced or rape or ravishment fantasy, I think most people out there would be like, that's a thing, or like maybe like 5% or something. Like I think everyone's prediction would be like super low. Really? So 50% for us might sound 50% sounds about right. Yeah. But then I think for everyone else they'd be like, what? So yeah, 52% rape by a man, 32%, forced oral, 28%, blah blah. Yeah, these are all pretty similar, right? So yeah, that's half girls like that fantasy. The question is why. I'm curious to ask you because I've got some research here that I've looked up before, but I'm curious, like, why do you think?
Okay, well, firstly, yes, I do have this fantasy. So let me just.
Okay, yeah.
I've had this fantasy for ages. Like, and I like being submissive and stuff in the bedroom. So. So when I was reading into it, so the reason that I have is one of the more common reasons that girls will cite, and it is just that fully, I guess, giving up of control. So I guess the converse for like the male equivalent, which obviously guys, I don't think it's even possible for a guy to have a rape fantasy. Like it's just not biologically possible, right?
Well, no, you can, yeah.
Oh, look, no,
you can.
Look, it's not the same.
I mean, guys can get raped, yeah.
Yeah, look, okay, yes, but it's not.
I know it's very
okay, I don't want to shun male sexual assault because that is very serious, but it's less likely that men are having rape fantasies than women. I'm sure the stat is much lower than that. Course, But anyway, but the male equivalent that I think is like a lot of guys, especially like high power guys, are really into the like BDSM, but like them being the sub, right? So I think it's kind of the same, like women with the rape fantasies and then men with the BDSM like sub fantasy. It's the complete foregoing of control, and that's why like I know a lot of doms. And majority, I would say like 90% plus of the DOMS clients are high-powered. They're politicians, lawyers, CEOs, and things like that. They're the kind of guys that are majority of the guys that are seeking these DOM services. And it is when you're just in control all the time, especially me, like I'm always, I guess I'm, boss bitch, managing lots of things all the time. I like to just in the bedroom, just not have to think about things. Yeah. And I think that's the same guys. They're just, when you're just in a high-powered role, you just sometimes in the bedroom want to just literally just think of and not. And I think part of it as well for me is I'm making decisions all the time. My entire life is just making decisions all the time. It's me. I'm in control of things and I'm making decisions and saying how things should be. In the bedroom, I don't want to have to make decisions. This is why I like being a sub in the bedroom. I don't want to think about what position I'm doing, what we're doing, what's going on. I just want to not make a decision for like once in my life. So I think that's kind of what it is. Yeah. So.
I agree. I think a lot of it is that aspect of submission. The ability to, as you said, let go, get out of your head, be present to your body. It's also like kinky to have that like trust and power and balance and give it that to someone else. So that's kind of nice. What else I've read in the literature and like obviously from speaking to girls as well is another aspect is women want to open themselves up to like different types of experiences. So as we said, like girls that are like super kinky and open are just like, oh, this is like something cool and nice to try. It also brings out a lot of emotion. So sympathetic activation. So you get that fight and flight, which can feel really nice during sex as your little hormones running through your system. But then something I want to talk about, which is two things, which is one, the idea of shame and guilt, and two, the idea of overcoming trauma. These, I think, are a little bit more specific to this. I'd argue there's probably less common that women are citing these reasons for having this fantasy. But one of the reasons is if you have like sexual shame, so if you think like sex is bad or like I shouldn't have sex before marriage, maybe there's like a religious component, that if you have a fantasy where you're like completely forced, then technically it's kind of not your fault. It's not your decision. So it's hard to feel shame. Like if you think I shouldn't have sex before marriage, but I got raped, it wasn't my thing, then it's like you have no guilt.
That's full on, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But it makes sense.
Yeah. So some girls it might feel a little bit like slut shamed is you relieve a lot of that guilt and shame. That's number one. And then number two would be the idea that if you've had like a traumatic experience, so maybe you felt like sexual assault or even rape itself, you can gain power and control from acting this out in like fantasy and play. So you reenact that scenario, but now you're in control. Now you want it. Now you're living it out. And again,
that makes sense.
Yeah, the literature is a bit like mixed on this. So I would probably say it's not like many people experiencing this. I think sometimes when you hear like freak fantasy, people will jump to this idea of like maybe these girls are traumatized and maybe, but it's like, no, this is like a normal, healthy fantasy that like 50% of girls have.
Yeah, I've never had any bad sexual experiences, and I still have a rape fantasy.
Yeah.
Oh, so another reason that I read was that girls said that it's like the ultimate being wanted.
Yes.
Which I thought was
100%.
Interesting. So that's not, so my reason is the relinquishing control reason. But the other one was, you are so hot that this guy can't control himself and has to rape you.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is wild. Like that's, but I guess it makes sense.
No, it is kind of hot when you act it out as well as the guy. To show that level.
Because you've acted, you've been you've done this role play.
Yeah.
So I actually haven't done this role play yet, but it's on the list. But you actually have.
Yeah, I really enjoy this. Like it needs to be with someone.
You telling me, I think this was once when we went to Queensland, and I think you were with someone. You were telling me about it, and you were like, it was so full on that she was like kicking you in the face.
Yeah, this is like dangerous. Like this is like
she was like kicking you, telling you to get off.
That's wild.
And I remember you telling me that, and I was just like laughing. But yeah, it was like that full on acting out, right?
Yeah. Like I've learned my lessons. So now like when I have this role play, sometimes I have to warn girls, especially when they're like strong. I'm like, okay, there's going to be a limit here. Like you can't be like punching me in the face. And
kicking you and shit.
Don't kick me in the balls, please. Like, so it's like one, I need to limit the girls that like going too crazy. Two, like once I remember this girl, she had this like sweater on and I just grabbed it and just ripped it. Right. And like fucking just tore this thing. And then she's like, stopped. And she's like, oh my God, no. She's like, I really like this. It's like, stop. And so now tell girls are like, bring clothes that you're happy.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
So yeah, these are things you have to think about. Also, like, of course, you need to like discuss this. Have safe words, not only for the girl, but for yourself. Because from the guy's point of view, it can be a confronting experience to put yourself in this scenario where the girl is saying no, pushing you away. Like, there is a part of you that's like, okay, this is play, right? Like she knows this is okay. Like it can be hard to get out of your head.
Is this real? Like she's kicking me in the face.
Yeah, it's like, you right? Like, so yeah, but it does feel like from the guy's point of view, I'll speak for myself. When I'm in that situation, it feels so sexy. Like you're so primal. You are showing like this level of desirability. Like I'm taking you now no matter what. But yeah, it's a touchy subject, obviously. But yeah, that's why I like to call it like ravishment fantasy. I like that imagery more of like, I'm just want to ravish this girl. I just need her. I just want her. And obviously like you need to have a lot of communication beforehand and even afterwards. Like after it can be, again, a confronting experience. So if anytime as the guy, you're like, this is too much, you want to stop, cool. Anytime as a girl, if you want to stop, cool. And then have like space afterwards to talk about it. But yeah, as far as like, fucking king, it's so much fun. I love it.
Yeah, it'll be. Yeah, it's on my to-do list. I'll get there. Yeah, I'll get there eventually. I think.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, slowly making my way down. Like,
off, yeah.
I know. Like I was just saying the other week on the episode on air, I was like, maybe I should get peed on. Just
yeah, exactly. You have become so good. I remember the first episode. You have come so far.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm like, yeah, piss on me.
Impressed.
No, not anybody just.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Warning clients, don't just start pissing on my bed.
Finger in the bum's okay, but
don't be peeing on my bed. No, I'm saying like if I really like a guy, then maybe I'll let him pee.
Yeah, try that.
Maybe.
Okay.
So my sex fact of this week, which is actually goes back to the word ick, and the term the ick was coined in the TV show Ally McBeal.
Ally McBeal. That rings a bell, but I don't know.
It was like a lawyer show.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
My mum used to watch it. I actually never watched it. She was like a female on the first female Supreme Court person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a TV show about like women lawyers back in when there were no women lawyers.
Okay,
really. It was like in the 90s or whatever, and that was another thing. Or women judges or something like that. Yeah, it's
starting to ring a bell. It's like a show,
yeah, exactly. When there was like not many.
Yeah.
I guess high-powered women in law.
Yeah.
Well, I guess obviously there wasn't because there was a full show about it. But yeah, so this is back then.
And she got like an ick from a guy. This is where
well, I don't actually know. Like I didn't look up the thing, but I just read that. But anyway, so that was so she'd get the ick from a guy. But I should have actually looked
I
up
thought
the
this
show.
was like a fucking reality TV show bachelor type thing because that's where I started hearing it.
Oh really?
Where like all girls were like, oh my God, I got the ick. And it was like all the superficial things you were talking about.
I'm trying to think where I would have heard the ick for the first time. I mean, it probably would have been from a friend or a cousin or something like that.
Yeah, I just heard it on those reality shows where every girl, it became a meme at some point. Like where it's like, oh my God, he picked up the cup with this way and he did. It's like, at this point, you're just like looking for an excuse not to fucking see this guy, right? You don't like it, just say you don't like it, But there you go. Fun times.
Anyway, so the Ally McBeal.
There you go.
Which I never watched. But anyway, so that's where it came from.
All right.
Popular culture for you.
Thank you, Kat. There we go. Guys, thank you so much. Don't forget, okay.
I know, we tell you all the time.
What to do with that
Please fuck that like and subscribe.
Yeah, get on it. All right?
That's where my G spot is.
Exactly, yeah. Want to find it. It's right there. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you next week. Love you.
Bye.